I don't always listen to sports radio, but when I do, I prefer the Sports Goombahs. Stay loyal, my friends.
Hey, yo, B, I don't want that guy's voice doing our show. Put him in the bathroom.
Sabbatical.
I fired his ass. That's what I did. Had enough of this Justin Bieber crap. I'm taking no more. Getting phone calls, tweets, and emails about Justin Bieber. Banned from the show. Listen to this. Jammed up on a flight though, man. He was calling me and told me about the airport, shut down the airports because in the northeast corridor of the world. United States, we had a snowstorm here, so it's the end of the world when we have snow. This is the Sports Goombahs, and we're coming from the 515 studio, so buried somewhere deep outside snowy, deep snowy Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can give us a call at 267-563-2893. This is the Sports Goombahs hotline, and we're brought to you by Castle Public Adjusters. Yeah, Castle Public Adjusters. You're going to need them soon when the snow starts to melt and you start seeing water damage, flood damage in your home. Give them a call, 215-752-1237. That's 215-752-1237, or check them out at castlepa.com. Also by GraphFX Screen Printing. The best screen printers in the Delaware Valley. T-shirts, jackets, anything you want to wear that you want something printed on, you can call GraphFX, the maker of the Sports Goombahs T-shirts. 267-789-5491. 267-789-5491. Check them out at GraphFX on Facebook. Yeah, they made these T-shirts.
Yes, they did.
And you can get a T-shirt. Where it be?
606 2nd Street Pike next Monday.
The big show.
We are live in prime time.
Come check us out at 8 o'clock at Steam Pub. And we'll be giving away T-shirts. We actually got a pair of Flyers tickets that we'll be raffling at the end of the show. So you want them a chance to get there, come on. Great food, great drinks. Come join us. Get there early. We go on the air. It's 8 o'clock. I suggest you get there 6:30, right, Big? From what I can tell.
7. From what with the feedback we're getting, you better, if you want a table up close, see us.
It's a huge crowd. It's going to be a huge crowd.
It's going to be a big crowd. Yep.
Absolutely. All right. 2 weeks ago, I was bitching about 70-degree weather here, right? You know what I mean?
How fast it turns.
Unbelievable. I mean, they fulfilled our snow totals in a 24-hour period.
This is what we normally get over one season.
Unbelievable.
Right now.
And I thought the weather guys were nuts as it is, but now they're on the internet. They're tweeting you. Your automatic emails to my telephone, and then you go on Facebook, and they got on the site their live action on Facebook of them showing all these maps and stuff, making you nuts. Crazy, man. It's like are we stupid? Have we ever seen snow before?
Well, Cashy, the maps and all those pretty colors, they make it legitimate. My God. They make it like, oh my God, it's really coming.
I gotta tell you, that European map's good for business.
Okay. No, European model.
Oh, European model, right?
It's a model.
Yeah,
remember.
Exactly right. Yeah, you're not kidding, man. I mean, and I like the way they do it now. They've been scrutinized the past couple years for, being terrible handicappers. Yeah. Okay. I mean, they're not responsible, and and they can say whatever they want when it comes to weather, because they know if they're wrong, say they were wrong. So we didn't get 10 feet of snow. Everybody's happy outside doing what you're doing. But now they've been scrutinized after a couple years, and a lot of name calling. You ever go on social media, they get ripped left and right.
Well, it's to the point where it's, the whole fire in a movie theater thing. And you can't, they were causing so much emergencies.
Yeah, exactly.
They were creating emergencies that didn't happen.
I went to the Acme and I just sat in the Acme and watched. I was trying to get material for the show. I was going to sit around and just watch all these people buy a ton of shit.
The French toast syndrome.
How many freaking gallons of milk do you think you're going to need in a 24-hour period? And today, what's it, Monday?
Yeah.
It's 24 hours after. The streets are fine. Everything's passable.
It was fine yesterday.
It's like nothing happened. You live on a side street, you can't get out. You got to dig out. So what?
I'm sure in big cities like Philadelphia, all the side streets, secondary streets, they're all messed up. I understand that.
Small.
But SEPTA wasn't running. Yeah. I don't even know if it was running today. Limited, very limited, 40%. But come on.
Let me tell you something. I went to the Acme today. The fruit was fresher than ever. You know what I mean? The nectarines were beautiful. The apple, even had nice apples there today. Unbelievable. That's the day after the storm, right? And all these people are panicking. They have them on TV. One guy had an entire shopping cart full of milk. Had to be 7-8 gallons of milk. What are you gonna do with all that milk? Gonna freeze it for the next snowfall?
It's French toast syndrome. They go out and get eggs, milk, and bread, and it's all.
Who the frick wants to eat eggs that much? You know what I mean? Give me 3 eggs. I'm good for the next 24 hours.
I have a problem. I'm a chef. I look at that and I go, I could feed 47 people for 2 days, but 3 days with what you just bought.
Yeah.
You got 2 other people in the house. You got 4 people in the house. You're spending. See, the thing that drives me nuts, because it hurts my business, is they go out and they buy all this food, and then they sit there because they're all scared and they're hungry when they're going out because they're going right after work. They haven't eaten dinner, and they overbuy. And you sit there. And the worst part was they were saying this crap was going to happen on Tuesday. Yeah. So it killed a lot of business all during the week, man.
BS. You know what it is? They're accountable now. Okay, so now they start off with, it's going to be 6 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 20, 20. They're calling out audibles every 24 minutes. An audible. They come on now it's good. Okay, just tell us it's going to snow and let's see what happens. You don't need an inch prediction. I don't care. From 15 to 25, it don't make a difference to me anymore. Okay.
Once you get past 15, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. Right.
It should be like, dust. They should change the categories to, okay, you can drive. You might want to get up early and clean off your car and go to, oh boy, this is getting.
Listen, I got 15 inches to the top of my truck, to the base of the truck. That's all I care about. As long as I can move that truck out of there, that's fine.
There you go.
Anything above, I'm stuck too. There's a reason why you saw tractor trailer stuff. Even salt trucks were getting stuck out there at points, trying to be pulled. Fire trucks and everything. It's a total panic, man. It's a glorified 2 days for the weather, guys. Okay.
Did you see the picture of the Amish horses pulling?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Pulling that big old tanker truck, oil truck, or something like gas running out of.
It's beautiful. It's So what are you going to do? Well, that started the weekend. It ended up with a brilliant day of football yesterday. I mean, the first game was. Second game, I don't know. You got Manning Brady going at it, and it's the best of the best. I mean, to me, although the game ended, I almost just wanted Brady to get the 2-point conversion so we could see more. I wanted to go to overtime. I just want to see this thing. I want to see this thing keep going, and the two of these guys duel it out. Because, it's funny how everybody say Brady had an awful game. I'm saying to myself, I'm watching this thing, and they keep talking about the bad game he's having, and they're ready to tie this thing. His worst game are other quarterbacks' game of their lives.
Oh, so to speak.
I mean, he had an awful day, and he still had a chance to tie this thing and maybe win it. Okay, and a 2-point conversion, which whatever. I mean, your field goal kick. They blame the field goal kicker, but it should never come down to that. You can't blame a kicker who missed the kick in the first quarter.
No.
Okay, you don't do that. You don't blame because there's.
We do that in Philadelphia, but you guys shouldn't do it naturally.
Exactly right. But to watch that game and I love Tom Brady. I don't care about the cheating and all that bullshit. I don't want to hear about it. Talent-wise, the guy puts the football where it's supposed to be, regardless if you're there or not. Okay, and so does Manning. Okay, between the two of them, I think Brady's the better quarterback, the better winner at this point in his career. Manning's had opportunities. Now he's got an opportunity. The problem is Carolina might be a far better team than Denver right now.
God, stop.
I'm saying.
I don't think. Look
I said that they might be a far better team than Denver. They might be. It depends on what Carolina team comes out. Now,
I don't know.
On the other hand,
I disagree, but go ahead.
Well, whatever. I disagree. The numbers speak with their 4-point favorite, and there's a reason that. Now, with that being said, if the Denver defense figures out a way, and I'm not saying they won't because they stumped Brady. They had Brady on the run.
Knocked him on his ass 23 times.
And let me tell you,
how many times has that happened to Brady? I don't think Brady's been knocked down 23 times in a season.
No, and here's the other thing. Cam Newton doesn't like to be hit either.
I know he doesn't.
Because he likes to fly around, dance around, have a good time out there. When he starts hurting in pain, that could be a problem. Now, I'm not saying, I don't want to see Manning lose this football game. I don't want to, I hate, whatever. You don't want to see a guy go down 3 times in the Super Bowl because then you start getting put in categories with Fran Tarkenton and Jim Kelly and almost Elway, but he came back at the end of his career. The fact that Manning's 40 years old, 39. The oldest player to go to the Super Bowl, he's going to be 40 he's 40. No, he's 40, man.
He's still 39, I thought.
I said he was 40 on TV, whatever. Hey, Phil Simms.
Don't get me started on him. When did he become such a...
He's the worst. You know what? This guy states the obvious while you're watching it. Oh, New England's only down 7 points. Really? You know what I mean? We can see that. We're watching the game. He's annoying. He's... I don't know how to put it in words. I don't like guys who tell me what's going on in the field while I'm watching it. The reason you're there is tell me something different. But Phil Simms doesn't shut up. It's almost like he's sitting there and he's on the run for time, and listen to him. He makes the whole broadcast sound more about him than he does the actual play on the field. I don't believe it. NBC don't have anything better to put out there, or CBS, or whatever freaking channel that was. I was getting confused about NBC, CBS since they switched 10 years ago. Confused me on that stuff.
But Peyton's only 39. He won't be 40 till March.
Whatever he is, he's the oldest quarterback to go to the Super Bowl on record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at this point.
And at this point, you have a huge age difference, a huge experience difference. You don't think that matters in the big game?
It's the quarterback Mikey and I argued about because he likes to call Cam Newton elite, and I won't give any quarterback the elite status until they win something. And he's texting me, see, he's elite. He's not elite. You use a word like that, you just can't. He's a good quarterback. He beats Manning next week, 2 weeks. He beats him for the Super Bowl. Now he has a Super Bowl ring. Okay, now he's starting to move up the ladder. He wins another one. And and he's the reason their team wins. Then he becomes elite. See, that what I was trying to point out to Mikey past couple weeks is when you say elite quarterback, it means once again, when the season starts, the New England Patriots are one of the top teams to win the Super Bowl because of their quarterback.
And that's straight up the only reason.
Let me finish. Denver, same thing. It's Manning. You have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl because of your quarterback. You didn't say that because of Cam Newton, although it can be that next year and the year after him. But his defense and the rest of his team has catapulted him too. Although Cam Newton, he's MVP. Any way you look at it, his stats say it, and he's won football games by himself. When he can start doing that,
he loses this. He's not elite, right?
He's not elite if he wins it. He's not elite until he starts. So you watch. I want multiple Super Bowls, multiple appearances. Okay, that's what I call it. Use the word. Look up the word elite. Okay, it puts you in a category by yourself. Okay, it makes you different than everybody else. It's amazing how the NFL uses the word great all the time. Every week there's great players. Great. There's no such thing as a good player anymore. You're either great or you stink. That's the categories you get put in football.
I look at it now, and I have to say most of the stuff I'm like disappointed in anymore with the categorization. Just like you said, we've always said on the show, the definition of somebody being an elite or great player is somebody who takes a team around him and makes them better on the way. I don't know if I see that with Cam Newton yet. I'm not ready to say what Mikey says because he doesn't have
the body of work.
No, exactly, and that was my next point. I think I mentioned it last week on the show. You're trying to compare people, whether it's their music careers or their football careers or whatever kind of career they're in, to the point where they started, and he's basically still in the starting age.
He's only a player.
Well, he's a 4-year. Yeah, he's still in the start. Where was he? Where was he in that stage? Where was Peyton in that stage? And to go back and try to compare that,
he's already been to the Super Bowl. He's already
exactly.
Yeah, he's already
and that's what you do. You look at and you can't compare these guys because it's one who's twilight his career.
That's why Brady gets put up here because it didn't take him long to get all them Super Bowls. Okay.
No.
You look at a guy like Elway who went 13 years before he got a Super Bowl, losing a bunch of Super Bowls and that type of thing, And Manning's following up. Manning got the one Super Bowl win, and then the other two. I mean, New Orleans game. I still say he threw that game for the situation, the flood, the whole 9 yards. But that's my conspiracy there. Him and his dad, the whole 9. But last 2 years ago against Seattle was a terrible football game for him
to watch.
And it was he didn't play well, and he doesn't play nervous. I just think you had those games. Last night, Brady had one of those games. They were dropping passes. He wasn't accurate. but he was good enough because he is who he is to be in that football game in the last play of the game and make 2 fourth-down connections. Well, you got Gronkowski. I mean, this guy is Gronk is. I mean, he's the most unstoppable player in the league right now. 3 guys on him, and the only way they stopped on that 2-point conversion, they had to interfere with him, pull him from the back. 3 guys to shield the referees. If you notice what they did, they had 3 guys on him. They got him. Well, actually, that wasn't. I don't think that was that the 2-point conversion? No, it was the play before the touchdown. Yeah, before the touchdown. Right. I'm not sure. You know, there was so many Gronk plays yesterday. You know, and.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he is. And where's he at today? He's out partying. All right, I win the Super Bowl, but we're ready for next year. You know, I'm not going to cry over it. Going to have a good time. The guy gets it. The guy's the anti-Manziel. Okay, this guy knows how to party, have fun, and then bring it on the field at the same time.
See, there's a difference. There's a separation.
Yeah,
the party ends when the party ends,
right.
And when work starts, work starts. Yeah, there was always a saying that, you know, I worked for a couple of people over the years, and it's this: we work hard, we play hard, but while we're working, we don't play hard.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
you got to know when to stop.
I'm not talking about a cliche. The whole thing. I'm just.
It's not a cliche. It's not a cliche.
You don't have to work. You know, some guys work hard and don't play hard. Okay, that's the thing. You can do that. I mean, you know, just because you're a pro athlete doesn't mean after you're done you go out there and you play around. Cashy Gronk was always a partier, but he could be a partier because the next day he was ready. Okay, they didn't have to go out looking for him. They didn't have to worry about him doing drugs he wasn't allowed to do or getting in trouble or putting his hands on somebody. He's always kept himself right, enjoyed himself, and always enjoys himself. Then comes out on Sunday and plays the best tight end you can play, and that's what he does. You got a Manziel. He's just worried about what girls he's going to get, what he can drink, what kind of videos he's going to put up, and he's hoping that he gets pulled up in Dallas. And I hope he goes to Dallas too, because I enjoy seeing him twice a year coming to town, or at least play the Eagles.
It'll be interesting. It'll be fun at least.
No, he can't make a team. He's not a good quarterback. Bottom line is he's a name. He's a name, and he's material. Yeah. That's it.
But all that is said. You know, I want to go back to something you just recently touched on there. You were saying that Carolina is your team? Is that what?
Carol's not my team.
No, I mean, like you said, they're the favorite, and that's for
a 4-point favorite.
Unless you're going to pull this up in your pick session. Then,
I don't. Right now, it's 2 weeks away. I'm not pulling anything up. You know, I don't know who's playing. I don't know what's going to happen. I want to see the trend. This is a 4-point game. I think this game will go down. I think this game will go down to no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to do anything. It depends on the public, and I think people used to in the early days. Manning was the villain. Okay. People, the Manning family, the whole thing about when he was drafted, his father moved him here or there. But Brady took over for that and pushed Manning aside as being the villain. Brady became the villain. Now I think people are feeling sorry for Manning and want to see him win. So some people will bet with their hearts and say, I want, they're getting 4 points. I want to see Manning win the Super Bowl. I'm going to watch this game. I'm going to bet on Manning. They might do it. Some people might do that. And that might make the line drop to 3.5, 3. I don't see it going up to 5. To me, in my career of handicapping and between Manny and Brady, I always take those guys when they're getting points. I don't give a shit where they're at. Mm-hmm. If they're getting points, I'm on them. Unless Manny's coming out in a wheelchair or Brady has crutches, I'm taking them guys with points. You're giving those guys points. No way. I don't do it. So looking at the way I do things with that, in the Super Bowl, I got a guy with experience. I got another guy coming in there, quarterback first time. First time's always rough. Yep. You know what I mean? And the second time's even worse. So at this point, I think Carolina is that good. I mean, when I say they're that good, I don't mean they're a juggernaut of a team. They're well coached and they're well focused, and their position players play well all the time. They're together as a team. You can see that as they play on the field, just the way they move to the ball. And the same thing with the Denver defense. Now, the Denver offense, it's been choppy through the season because they had 2 different quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Neither team yesterday, either them or New England, had a running game to go. Everybody was in the air. And those are, in order for Denver to win that football game in 2 weeks, they're going to have to run the ball. They can't do the same thing they did in New England. No. I mean, New England's defense always been suspect a little bit throughout the years. They let a lot of points. They let the Eagles beat up on them. Yep. So going into this game, I kind of I was figuring on the over on this one, but I stayed away from that game. I'm going to stay away from 2 of them. I took the over. I saw the Carolina game come out at 47. I thought I'd see it at 50. When I saw 47, like I said, I wasn't going to bet anymore NFL. I got to put that up on our picks. 3-point different than what I thought I was going to see. I got to be on it. You're giving me 3 points there to go in the total. And what happens? Carolina covers the total by themselves.
Yep.
At that point.
Well, I look at it too. Going back 5 years on the history of the Super Bowl, defense sells. I mean, it wins. So you got two pretty good defenses playing each other, man. Yep. So this should be, I mean, in all aspects of the game, it should be a very good football game.
Usually we come out of the NFL championship weekend saying we saw the two best teams play. Yep. This time we didn't do that. It wasn't Denver, New England being the two best teams. They were one of the two best teams. Only the four seeds are there. Yeah. So it's all there. Arizona's got problems. Okay, they got beat up by Seattle at the end of the season. They barely got past who were they playing 2 weeks ago in the playoffs? Green Bay. Okay, I mean, in a Hail Mary, they almost lost. If it wasn't for a big play by wide receiver, what's his name? Whatever. Yeah. But Packers weren't that time of team this year. I thought they were at the beginning of the season. They broke down at the end. They shouldn't even been in that game with Arizona. Arizona's going to get that. I thought Arizona was going to get beat up bad. Okay, that's why I figured the total was going to be high. And just was that type of game. They weren't ready to play this game. And, Carson Palmer, he's Carson Palmer. He's not a big game quarterback. Let's face it, he could have lost that game in Green Bay. I don't think he was as good as Rodgers was. But coming in this football game, this is going to be a good Super Bowl. It really should be. What bothers me, it's the usual suspects, man. It's Carolina's second Super Bowl. Denver's 402 Super Bowl. It is. I look at these teams every year to get to the Super Bowl. Now, we're from Philadelphia. We've suffered the chaos of a football team, every team in this city. And you look at the teams that are always there. New England, Denver. I'll throw the Cowboys in because they're from the past. But the recent teams, Denver, New England, with the Pack, and even put Carolina was in there in the last couple of years, and Seattle. And you look at where it all starts. It starts at the top, the ownership, the general managers. And then you look at this stinking town and what we put in between a used car dealer, okay, a drunk, and a movie producer. That's been our owners for the past 35 years, okay? Right? Right? There's not a football guy in the bunch. And you look at the general managers that we have, it's the same deal. It's always you look at the top. I look at Jeff Lurie standing at the podium, and I say to myself all the time, I can't see that guy lifting this Lombardi trophy. It just doesn't look right. He's the kind of guy who couldn't get it up in the air. They would have to help him put it up in the air because he's so timid at the whole thing. And to see him sniffling and kind of moping on the podium when they hired the coach, be nice to my players, be nice to the fans, listen to what the fans have to say. Come on, man.
The worst thing you could do is listen to
Gold
us.
Gold standard. That's what he said when he first bought the team. This is going to be the gold standard. We're going to follow the 49ers, okay? Come on, man.
49ers haven't won anything in a while
They've
either.
been to the bowl, though. They were in the Super Bowl. What do you mean? They've been to three NFL, NFC championships and one Super Bowl, okay, with two different quarterbacks under a good coach. They've been there. They've been as good as the Eagles were under Reed for that stretch. They're one less championship than the Eagles were during that Reed stress. But still, at least they did it with lesser talent than the Eagles did. But that's my point being. It's the ownership. It starts up. That's why the same teams are always fighting for Super Bowls, because they get it done at the top and they work it down. Even the New York Giants, same deal.
Yeah, there were in a couple of them there too.
As seasons that even the bad seasons, they managed to put together teams that can get there, or at least they're always built for the playoffs, like the Giants.
Yeah.
We're built for luck here. That's what the ownership in this town does. They built this team for luck. And now they bring in I don't even want to talk about the coaching. We've hired every coach, every possible person who said, yeah, I like Howie. Howie Rose nuts. Yeah, we like him. We can work with Howie Rose. Oh, you got a job. Can you work with Rose nuts? Yeah, you got a job. No matter what you've done, as long as you can work with our big general manager now, who can't throw a forward pass.
What I don't get is, never mind. With the how I don't get it. I just don't get it. Period.
Yeah, you do. It's cheap, and it's a yes. Yes, man, you're cheap. Okay, we're going to build this football team because, much like Jerry Jones, I think that Roseman and Lurie think that they can put together something because they did it for Andy Reid and a couple bounces of the ball. Maybe Eagles have 2 or 3 Super Bowls. Right? That's what their thought is. They got there doing it the Andy Reid way. Okay, they had the opportunities. For the past 5 years, the end of Reid and the Chip Kelly, we haven't had the opportunity to get there. Okay, we didn't get to the championship games. We didn't get to the second round of the playoffs. So they're going back to the glory years. That's what I'm talking about. I got ownership here. Instead of moving forward, they're moving backwards because you're bringing the West Coast offense back, which is how old is the West Coast offense?
It's old now.
I haven't heard anybody call it that since they hired this guy. That's the first time I've heard it. West Coast since the middle of Andy Reid's career here.
I have to give Peterson the credit, though, when somebody said that up because, no, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a variation of that.
Variation.
Thank God. Thank God. Because if you're running a West Coast offense now, you're kind of like, you better have some variation or metamorphosis of it because it's going to get old and stale and tired faster than Reid did.
Yeah. I don't know. What you got to do about that? I don't know. See Peyton Manning with his kid up on the podium there? That's the first time I've seen a Manning family member other than his brother and his father anywhere on TV. Most people don't even know he has twins. You know?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I looked at it when there's another brother. When you said how old he was, I Googled him real fast. I was like, who the hell's Cooper, man?
Cooper's the guy Cooper has his own show now on Fox. They gave him a little show. You got to throw Manning a bone. So they gave him a little show. He's the anti-Manning or the odd Manning out. He got hurt in college or something like that, busted up his career, you know. But anyway, I just say you don't see Manning usually appear anywhere with his family. But you don't know what his wife looks like, right? No, you don't, right?
Nope.
You know what Brady's wife looks like.
Oh yeah, she's a model.
I'm just saying in general, you know, that's just the way it is. You know, so it's odd to see him, you know, bring his young kid to his you know, gotta be 5 or 6 years old to the podium like that. But I guess as he gets older, I mean,
pretty. His wife's pretty, Ashley Thompson.
Yeah, little blonde. Yeah. She's not bad. We'll get Mikey to put up on the babes list. You know. Whatever he calls that thing on the website. Yeah, I called him.
Babe of the week.
I walked in a friend of mine's house yesterday. I was checking out how to go see some water damage, right? He's got this Royal Rumble on. Okay. It's like an oversized sausage fest in the ring, man. I'm looking at all these big goobers slapping each other around. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, you know, I know you guys like wrestling and all that stuff. But a Royal Rumble, they still do that?
Yeah.
And they crown a championship after they throw the last one out of the ring?
Yeah, I think so. Because wasn't that a precedent? It started, remember, it used to be a big deal to have a battle royal when we were younger. It was
Hulk Hogan was involved in one of them, won a championship or so. Was the heavyweight when it was the WWF. But I'm just looking at these guys. I'm like, yeah, come on, man. It's so cartoonish. It's not even. All
I saw is I think somebody shared a picture or Ric Flair's daughter is actually the women's champion, the Divas champion, or something like that.
How exciting is that? Paid per view, you moron. You know what I mean? That's how I have to look at that. You know, for the most part. Yeah, Phil Simms annoyed me, man. I couldn't stand him much. He was, you know, as I'm listening to the game, I'm boiling. You know, his southern drawl, whatever. That's time. Time. When he says the word time, makes me want to throw up every time he says it. You know, I think I do something better. I never thought I'd say I like Joe Buck better. I'd rather listen to Buck.
Stop.
And listen.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now you're being ridiculous.
No, I'm not being ridiculous. I'll listen between the two of them. I'd rather listen to Joe Buck, but at least I got Aikman telling it like it should be on there. You know, like those two clowns for the most part. You know, Phil Simms. They got Phil Simms, and they got the other guy. Who's the other guy on the halftime show? I always get he's the other Phil Simms. Boomer Size. They're the same dude.
The other Phil. I
call him the other Phil Simms.
No, you know what? That works too. Yeah.
And they do that Showtime NFL show on Showtime, and they're both on there with some other guy with these thick glasses I never saw before.
And you're looking at it going, "Am I seeing double?"
They bitch at each other. It's two white hair guys bitching at each other. Funny, Phil Simms. How are you gonna do that? All right, B, let's take a break. And when we come back, we got my girl Sarah Palin's back. I got the picks. You know, we're going to talk a little more Super Bowl. That Trump's nuts, isn't he, man? Somebody needs his head examined over. I'm Cashy the King. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. Mikey the Wall. He's on vacation, and he might be calling in. Who knows? And if you want to give us a call, you can do that by giving us a call. 267. What's our phone number here, B?
You kidding me?
After all these years.
267.
Say it.
563-2897.
There it is. You know.
All
I got a brain
here.
fart, man. I got a freaking brain fart.
You do every time you talk.
267-563-2893. Try it again. 267. I better remember this for the show next week, man.
Oh, my
267-563-2893 is the Sports Goombahs hotline. And remember, next week, February 1st, 8 o'clock, Steam Pub. We'll be there live. Myself, The Wall, the chef. You cooking that night?
I'm not cooking. Somebody is, but not me.
Yeah, we better have some appetizers out here on the table.
We will. Well, not here, but over there.
I want to eat nice, my fucking pineapple. All right, anyway, Sports Goombahs, we'll be right back.
Avoid the hassle. Just call Castle Public Adjusters. Get the edge on your insurance company. 215-752-1237. That's 215-752-1237. Or check them out at castlepa.com. Don't settle for less. Get the maximum for your claim. Castle Public Adjusters. 215-752-1237.
Hey, yo, Cashy, what are you doing?
I got plumbing problems here. I can't get the water to go down the drain. What am I going to do?
Call Guaranteed Plumbing, 215-342-7200 for all your plumbing needs. Serving the Philadelphia area and the greater Delaware Valley.
What was that phone number again?
215-342-7200.
Oh, yeah.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free, instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Sports Goombahs, Cashy the King here. I got my shut to let Brendan B. Wall is on vacay. Call in. Maybe he knows the phone number. Think he knows the number by heart?
He better. I'm the only one that knows the damn number.
Yeah, 267-563-2893. Take calls next week? I don't think we should. We're not going to be taking calls next week during the live show. We have too much chaos and commotion going on there to handle the telephones. That's for
Probably
sure.
wouldn't be able to pull it off.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, because I'm the tech guy, As long as I'm running shit going to be shitty. You never know for the most part. But tough week with the plays this week, and this is the pick section. Of course, the pick section. What you buy? A new sponsor. Well, a new sponsor, same as the old sponsor. Seal Roofing. Check them out at sealroofing.net. So all your roofing problems over one phone call. 215-884-5455 or check them out at sealroofing.net.
They did the chef's roof. They're good.
Yep. Be busy soon, man. Could use a little rain out here. We call that snow and crap. Right off the top of them roofs. All right, last week we were 5-4. Made a little bit of a comeback at the end with that NFL play. Telling everybody stay on that Chicago Blackhawks when it comes to the the hockey stuff. But got a little rough last week. Yeah, we were 5-4, and made a comeback on Sunday by taking Chicago again. I told you stay off Chicago against Tampa Bay. That's the only one they've lost in the last 12 or 13 games. That's some run they've been on, and I'm going to be on them after the All-Star break too. don't have too much for this week. Lost you about 125 last week if you were, playing them at 100 points a shot. Tuesday hockey tomorrow. Actually, tonight we have a game that's going on right now. We have Dallas, Calgary. We have Dallas posted on the site on that one. Dallas minus 200. A big nut today, but I think Dallas, like Calgary. Calgary, they were coming last year. They kind of dropped off this year a little bit. Dallas was my Dow Jones team. They're no longer. Chicago trumped them quick. Still a good hockey team, Dallas, and they will be there at the end for sure. Tuesday night, Toronto's at Florida. Florida had a great run there, and then they ran into some trouble for a couple weeks. Lost 3 in a row. Now they won 2 in a row back again. Toronto stinks, except when they play Philly. Then they so happen to be good. Cost me a couple bucks last week, but okay. We'll
the
deal
one
with that.
game, too.
The one game,
the
right.
one game during their stretch.
Yeah, right. So, we get beat by Boston when I came to the studio today. We weren't playing well. Boston was playing real good. Flyers looked lost against Boston today.
It's tied 2-2.
Is it really? They came back.
Yeah.
Nice work. That first period was
2 minutes
awful.
left.
Awful.
They looked a lot better in that second period.
Yeah. So I like Florida. I don't know what the line is. They didn't put one out there. I'm figuring Florida's probably going to be like a 175. I take them. I also like the over 2.5 goals. If you can find that on that as well. Wednesday, Washington comes into Philadelphia goes into Washington. Caps. I'm going to be on them for the first game before the All-Star break, because you know what happens to Washington after All-Star break. For some reason, this all goes downhill for them. But I'm going to catch them at the end here. Philadelphia going in there. It's a bad spot for Philadelphia. It's vacation time. Washington's scoring goals at a high rate. They're just a better hockey team than Philadelphia is this year. And I think Washington's going to be up to this. Right? This is the year they make a little bit of a run. They might not do it all. They're never going to beat the West. I think they might be up there as far as the eastern side of this country when it comes to hockey. Them and the Rangers fighting for the end. Take Washington. I think this is going to be a 2.5, over 2.5 points, and I like the game as well. I'm looking at this one to be like a 140, 150 maybe on this one. A nice amount here that I would definitely take Washington on this one. The other game Wednesday is Colorado at LA. I'm an LA fan. It's another team, much like Chicago, I watch. If you watch me, I'm looking at LA games. I'm looking at Chicago games and Dallas. See, I focus on 3 teams, money makers, I call them. They're playing Colorado. I like LA. I don't have a line on this one. There is no line out there right now. I'm looking at this one to be, once again, probably a minus 160 in that ballpark, maybe more. Colorado's a shifty team. Sometimes they play real well. In LA, I like LA. So West Coast feast over there. So those are my 3 games. I don't have a whole lot, I don't see much more this week because it is All-Star week. You probably won't see any much plays on my on the site. Maybe one other one, maybe I may post. Like LA, Washington, and Florida. Florida tomorrow night, Wednesday night, LA and Washington. Remember, with the Florida game, I like the over 2.5 too with goals. Also like the over 2.5 with Washington. I don't think I'm going to see a 3.5. I really don't. You might, you never know. And those are our picks. We're brought to you by Seal Roofing. Once again, sealroofing.net. Go there and get all the information you need to know, or give them a call, 215-884-5455. That's 215-884-5454. Tell them the Sports Goombahs sent you. Maybe they'll throw a little discount on the next roofer you get.
All-Star games this weekend, right? Yeah. This weekend?
The 3-on-3, right? Is it all 3-on-3?
I don't even know anymore. I'm so confused as to how they're doing things anymore, but it's the only All-Star game I always watch the baseball one, but it's the only other one. I have yet to ever see what do you call it? The game, NFL's All-Star game or All Pro Bowl or whatever. Really? Nope, never watch it. It just
I don't mind that game if they're playing like I do. I'm trying to think, what All-Star game do you watch? And basketball ones sometimes okay. They sometimes decide to play.
Baseball one.
The NFL, there's no hitting, none of that stuff. It's a chuckle fest. Like I always said, they should just make the NFL All-Star game a touch game. And let's see the talented players. Let's see the offensive side of an All-Star game. The guys run up and down the field playing flag football or something like that. Because that's basically what they play anyway. Out there. No one's really hitting. Unless you have a stupid rookie who made the All-Star team, is trying to have, hit somebody famous in his mind.
I like the baseball one because it actually means something. I like the fact that they're playing for a game.
Well, when it's non-contact sport,
it's
so much easier to do, obviously, right? That's the deal here, for the most part. But All-Star games are always. But the hockey, they got something different here. They're going to have a 3-on-3, which obviously everybody likes, and especially because they're doing it after.
The only people that don't like it are the players.
Well, yeah, I mean,
For the majority, I should say. I shouldn't speak for all of them, but like majority of the players, they would like to see 4-on-4 before the 3-on-3.
Well, here's the thing. It's the 3-on-3. I thought, and maybe I'm wrong because there's been a lot of shootouts lately that I've seen on TV. The 3-on-3 should end the game there. 5 minutes of that, there should be. Here's the thing. There's so many 2-on-1s. There's so many breakaways, yet they still don't score. It's so hard to score in hockey
Anymore.
It is. You got the goal. He's got an arsenal around him of plastic and padding. Makes it tough. It's always tough for them. And I don't think the players are as good as they could be. I don't think their shots on goal are, players are so used to now in hockey of firing on that net with having 4 or 5 guys around the net all the time. Thinking bing, bang, bing, going to hit stuff and go in.
It's always been like that, though.
No, you were allowed to clear the guy out. Okay, now you can't
clear,
but you could. I mean, let's go back to the 80s and 90s. The guys made a living of clearing out the crease. I don't understand why they changed it. Why you can't clear a guy out of the crease?
Because it's interference now.
Yeah, but
they don't have the puck. It was always a rule. It was just never really enforced. I remember, even street hockey, goalies loved me because I was the big fat guy. I was a defenseman. I cleared it.
My point being is that the Tim Curve would have never been Tim Curve. He couldn't do that. John LeClaire made it. He sat in front of there and deflected passes and pushed the guy out of the way all the time.
You're talking about guys that parked there. I'm talking about the defensemen.
But it's defensemen.
Defensemen that would try to clear them.
Right.
That were tasked with the job.
Well, can an offensive guy clear a defenseman out down low when a guy's coming in for a shot? Or he can't do that either.
You can't touch him either.
So either guy can't touch each other.
That's why all the traffic.
I was there. I told you last week. I was down in the game last week. There were 5 guys in front of the net, and somebody shot it and scored, and the place erupted. I'm like, what the frick was that? You don't even know who scored the goal. It takes them 10 minutes to look at the film, so you got the deflection.
Doesn't matter. It's a goal.
I understand that, but that's why the game is where it is right now. That's why the talent in hockey, I don't believe the talent is as good now as it was 10 years ago. I really don't. I can remember having so many more players who were at the top of their game that we can name. Now you have trouble. The only time you can name guys, but you're naming new guys. Can you name 10 of the top players in the NHL?
You can name them, but here's the thing. You don't get to see a lot of them because most of them are on the West Coast. And that's where. Whereas,
if I'm a hockey guy, I find ways to watch. I buy it on the internet, or I do.
I understand that. You're talking. I'm not talking about the hockey guys. The hockey guys, they know who everybody is.
Of course they do. That's the sport.
I'm talking to the casual observer. That's half in, half out.
We could name 35 NFL stars as we sat there in 5 minutes.
We were younger. You know why?
Because I can name it now today. I can name it today. We could run through 5 teams and nail the whole defensive line.
And that's what I'm talking about. We're hockey guys. That's what we do.
But no,
hold up. No, I'm gonna force this because Mikey doesn't know shit about hockey.
This is not what I'm talking about. This is not even the question right now.
And he might be able to.
The question was, can you name 10 of NHL's top players?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, we used to be able to run them off like that. You go down the line. You could go. Jesus Christ, I can't think of nobody right now. That's the only thing that comes to my head because I can't pronounce the rest of them.
Now you're talking now.
Well, in the last 5 years, who are the top guys?
Who are the top? It's the same criminals that are out there right now.
You can't spit them out to me right now. We used to be able to do that.
Giroux
ain't a top guy in hockey. I don't want to hear that. Come on.
I'm just
now you get me ill.
No, I'm starting with what I know. The team. He's up there. He's Cashy. He's up there the last 5.
Yeah.
If you're going back the last 5 years, he's up there.
And that's the problem right there. That he's a top player in the league. That's it. He's a top player in the league. I mean, that's the problem. You can't.
If you're going by stats, I'm going by stats.
Yeah, well,
that's
go
stats.
Go by
that's
stats.
The stats. I'm not telling you.
Go by the stats. Go ahead. Who else?
Malkin. Ovechkin, Crosby, Tews, Jonathan Toews, whatever.
The whole Chicago team.
Like 3 or 4 guys on there.
Chicago and LA. That's all you have to say, man. That's it.
LA, what do you call it?
Listen, you're struggling. Okay.
No, I'm struggling with their names because I don't know their names.
The thing is, if it was that good,
I know who they are. I just can't come. I'm under gun. You
shouldn't be under the gun. I can't. I'm telling you, I can't name them. I'm not under the gun. I can't name. No, I can't do it. I have to sit here for a half hour and start thinking of guys. Whereas the other sports, I can spit them out.
I'm telling you because we don't see them enough. Is what that is. I'm not
No,
going. Yeah,
you're
I'm
wrong.
telling
You're wrong. You're totally wrong. You know why you're wrong?
Who,
Because,
name the
because I
center.
don't have.
Name me one of the 4 centermen on LA Kings right now.
I don't freaking know.
Okay, then why?
Gonzalez. So what's his name?
No, come on, you're
Cruz,
wrong.
whatever the
No,
frick
no,
his name.
no. Chicago.
Listen, I'm not saying I know anybody.
I'm telling you,
My
but
point-
but these are the best teams in the
Listen,
NHL, and you don't know who the hell they
My point is
are.
not what you and I know. It's what it's right now in general.
Exactly.
In general, the whole
You just proved my
the
point.
whole damn league.
You just proved my point.
It all goes back to the talent of these players. The NHL really isn't that good. Okay, and you're seeing it. You can make your face all you want. There's a reason they got to go to overtime. There's a reason to have a shootout, and the shootout is picks apart a player like you never saw. The shootout is a disgrace that these guys can't score on breakaways. Disgrace.
I agree.
It's the only
It's
time
just
they should
that-
be able to.
No,
What do you mean no?
I don't think so.
A breakaway?
You got a 50-50 shot.
Oh,
That's
well,
it.
that should be 50-50. You got the puck on your stick.
So
You know where it's
doesn't-
going. The goalie doesn't.
And it's the only time. If I told you, Cashy, I'm going to hit ground balls to you at third base, are you going to be ready? Here it comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
You see him. You're gonna catch it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Most times.
Same freaking thing.
What, for a goalie?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're not. No, actually, you're not. Wait a second.
Well, come on, man.
Oh, that's a terrible analogy.
It's a
First of
horrible
all,
analogy.
It's a terrible analogy.
It's the only time in sport, in any sport, when you know exactly what's going to happen.
Bull. You don't know. When a guy's skating towards you with the puck on his stick, moving left, right, up, down, all these spots. You're talking about hit a ground ball to me when you're about 30 feet away and the ball comes bounce to me. I have reaction time left and right. Well, hockey.
You have less time for me hitting the ball
Then a
to
slap
you at
shot.
third.
Then a slap shot coming
Yes.
in? Oh, come on, man. Come on. The slap shot's going way harder than any ball off a bat. Way harder, way faster. And you got a guy coming out. He's juking left. He's juking right. He's going top shelf, lower, 5-hole. But on a baseball, it's a ground ball coming to you. It might come fast.
I'm telling you, that's my analogy because you know it's coming. Name another sport.
Wait a second.
Any other
A
sport.
goalie doesn't know it's coming. He doesn't know where it's coming from.
He knows he sees you coming right at him.
Yeah, but that's not. But he's
and if
not
he's a good goalie, you know.
he's not stopping you from going in the freaking net. He's stopping the puck. That's a whole
Exactly.
different story.
What
Because
the
he's got
heck?
a puck on a stick moving all over. The body doesn't move like the puck moves in front of you.
Doesn't
Left
matter.
and right, up and down.
Doesn't.
What do you
You're
mean it doesn't matter?
I'm telling you, if he knows it's coming, he's prepared for it.
Yeah, but he doesn't know.
How the hell do you expect him? So you're saying he should score all the time, automatically?
No, they score more often than none. Okay.
Okay,
the
so
odds should
then
be
what's
better.
the problem?
The problem is
It's a shitty system. That's the problem.
no. It may be a shitty system, but
But
the
you're saying
player,
there that the guy that can't even score half the time. They shouldn't be able to score half the time. Then it would be anticlimactic.
No, they should
Then
be.
nobody-
They should be able to score half the time when
No.
they got defense on them and they got other players stopping them from going into that net. When they're on a breakaway, and that's precisely the reason why they give you the breakaway when they make a tripping call or something like that. They give you the opportunity to score
To
with nobody
make it
on
up because they know it's only a 1 in 6
you.
chance.
So why
of
give
you.
it to them? Why not put an extra skater on the ice? Don't give them the breakaway. Put an extra skater on the ice for them instead.
Don't do the shootout either. Same freaking
My
thing.
point being, the talent, the one thing that a player should be able to score on a goalie is when he goes in by himself and nobody's bothering him.
But you're looking
Nobody's
at it.
checking him. Nobody's sticking him. Nothing. He goes straight into the goalie, and that's the hardest time for him to score. And it should be like that.
It's only a 22% chance
Yeah,
of
well,
scoring.
that sucks.
Some of the best ones in the league.
Yeah.
Who's the best one in the league at shootout?
Got me.
Who's the best player
I
in the
don't
league
know.
right now? What's
Ovechkin? I would take Ovechkin. If I had to pick
Okay.
anybody, I'd take him.
And
going
what's
over.
his?
I have no idea, man.
Is it? If I bet you it's probably like around on 31%. If
Well,
that.
that's too bad.
That's 1 every
Yeah.
3.
Right.
It shows you how good. And you're saying that the players suck or the goalies got better. What's the difference? What is it?
The sport. The problem. There's two things.
Scoring's up.
Fine, the scoring's up. That's great. The excitement in hockey's not though. They tore the game down a little bit. I mean, I go to these hockey games. I sit there and watch. I watch icing call after icing call. I watch shots hit the glass. You know, I sit behind the glass, so I see the shots hitting me. I say to myself, why are you hitting? I'm 7 rows up. And that's where the shots are coming. The clings and the clangs are going off the glass. On breakaways, on point shots. Why can't they put these shots on goals? They're the best in the business. Tom Brady puts a football in a spot on a football field between 5 guys.
Totally irrelevant.
What I'm saying, I'm making it.
Totally
but
different.
they're the best in their.
You call my analogy horrible. That's
Why
even
is it
10
horrible?
times worse.
Why? Tom Brady's the best in the business of what he does as a quarterback. And most quarterbacks are pretty
Not this
good.
year.
Most quarterbacks are pretty good at putting the football.
Most quarterbacks
If you
are
make it
okay.
to-
So they should throw a touchdown pass every time.
Not my point. I'm not saying a
Well,
touchdown
come
pass.
on. That's the same analogy.
You're just
The
beating-
same
No,
touchdown
it's not.
pass is the same thing as that.
Absolutely not the same.
Where's
analogy.
Mikey? This would be awesome. Where's
Mikey's
Mikey?
not here. I don't care what Mikey is, right? I care about making the point right. But, you keep telling me these NHL players, I've been saying it for years, and a lot of people agree with me. They're exploited on the breakaway, and they shouldn't be. That's the only time they should be able to use their craft to score a goal. Whether it's juking a goalie out or slapping a shot fast enough past them. All these sharpshooters out there, they can't score.
Most goals are scored because you're either screening somebody or you catch a goalie off guard.
Isn't that pathetic that you're screening somebody? So the goalie can't see your shots. The only way to score.
Most goals are scored like that.
It wasn't always like that. In the older days of hockey, back when we had sharpshooters on teams.
Half the Broad Street Bullies got their goals that way.
What?
More than half.
No way.
More than half.
Reggie Leach.
I'm saying more than
McLeish,
half
these
of their
guys-
goals. Yeah, absolutely.
Bobby Clark, these guys put it in
Absolutely.
spots. You're
They put it.
absolutely wrong. You go
And the
back and check.
goalies were slower.
And then less padding on.
Yep.
Right. Absolutely right.
They're
And
not
that's
not
the
as
problem.
good as they are now.
Hockey has screwed the game up. They put so much armor on these goalies that they don't leave you much of a spot.
And plus they were slower too. They weren't as good as athletes as they are now, the goalies.
Now, here's the thing. You say they're slower, okay? You look at those games back and forth. They're not exactly slow. You go to the 80s games, the Gretzky years, okay, the Lemieux years. There was a lot of fast guys back in those days, okay?
I was more so saying the Broad Street Bullies.
Whatever.
That era. That's the
40
70s,
years
75.
ago. Yeah, but you have to understand something. One thing you're forgetting about, speed of hockey players have a lot to do with the kind of camera you saw. Okay, remember what you saw in hockey. You saw the middle of the ice camera back and forth. Now you have cameras zoomed in, things like that. You got all kinds of movement. You got to remember, the video of the game changes the game too a lot. What you actually see. Hockey, man. I used to like the sport. They just keep tearing it down little by little. They just make it worse and worse. Instead of making it better, they make it harder to score, harder to watch, changing the rules every time. Blue line, red line. Did you think the red line and the blue line thing make a difference right now in hockey?
No, it doesn't.
Right.
It's
so
Olympic
put it
play.
the fuck back. You know
It's
what I mean?
Olympic play.
Yeah.
You're arguing points that
I'm making points. I'm not arguing points.
No, you're arguing points. You're arguing points and you're making points that I agree with. Shootout sucks. Red line to red line, that sucks. Okay, these are, most of these changes are because of international hockey rules, whatever it is. It's just not good for the NHL.
It's not. It's the NHL.
It sucks
is
for NHL.
Dropping down and down. And the only reason they keep themselves afloat is because they got contracts with TV. And they keep themselves on the commercial TV, NBC and that kind of thing. But the game itself, it's very difficult. Here's the thing. It's very difficult to suck me in to watch an entire hockey game. I'm watching the first period. I flip. And why am I flipping? Because I'm getting bored of what I'm seeing out there a little bit. I come back to it and I flip again. Now, I'm just saying.
In general.
In general, in hockey, that's what I do. I move. I don't move from football games. I don't really baseball. I don't move from baseball games because baseball games are background noise. Okay, you put a ball game on, you do shit around the house. They're long enough and they're slow enough that you can go in there. You can paint a wall, come back, and still in the same inning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hockey, you can miss something if you turn your head, but you can see a flow of a game if it gets to be back and forth, boring at times. Or for some reason, I used to watch whole games. I can't do it no more. Maybe I'll get older. My attention span's not there. Or the
you
game
definitely got a little ADHD.
But the game isn't as good anymore. I really don't think hockey's as good anymore. I don't find it as enjoying. Even when I'm down there watching the games now, it's it's to a point of where it's better on TV. Honestly, watching hockey has become better on TV. They got enough camera angles, enough things going on, enough free plays to a point. And I made a point of it because I do the show and we talk about this type of thing. I watched the goals in the Boston game a few weeks back when I went down with my friends. And I just watched the reaction of the fans. And I can remember talking to the guys with me down the row. We were talking and a goal was scored. The three of them went, wow, I jumped up and they never saw the goal. What they saw were other fans cheering. So what you're seeing is the reaction of the people in the stadium to what they saw, regardless if you saw that puck going in. Because, come on, B, it's the only sport in the world where you don't have to see shit and you get excited about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. How many actual goals do you really see in this sport? Not a lot, man. It's all reactionary to what goes on around you.
For me, well, I pay attention when I got.
Even if you're paying attention, you don't see the actual. In every other sport, when the ball gets to where it needs to get, there's a talent to get you. You see it go over touchdowns. You see the play. You see the score. You see the dive. Baseball,
I see a lot of goals though.
You saw a lot of goals. I'm talking about a lifetime. I'm talking about listen. You can't, every time I say something like that, you put it into a different perspective. I'm saying to yourself, what other sport do you know that everybody reacts from just the reaction of everybody else?
None.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. So when you pay $109 to go watch a game and you get 3 goals, you didn't see any, but you saw people cheer. That was exciting to you. That's the problem with hockey. There's a problem with
if you're going. Okay, one, you go into a game. You're
watch
spending,
the rest of the game. I understand that.
You watch the freaking game.
Right.
I mean.
Hockey's different. Watching hockey live, especially depending on where you're at, you don't get to see much. Like, that's why TV is so much better for hockey now because they have so many cameras. You get to see all the goals, even on the quick instant replay. Where being in the stadium, you got to wait for it to come up top, and even that's not so good. That's not as good as what you see on TV. And I find myself watching that thing more than I watch the actual game because that's giving me a better picture of what's going on in front of me.
I don't know. You were generous a couple of times there and sent me down to the games with your seat. I thought your seats were great.
In our zone, especially in our zone, it's good. That's
oh
what
my God.
It's
They're very good tickets that you're going to get to see next week. If you win at 606 6th Street Pike, come see us at Steam. But if you do go down and you get the pleasure. I mean, like I don't go to a lot of sporting events. When I do, they're big deals to me. I normally don't get enough time. So when I do go, I maybe it's just me. I pay attention to what's going on. It's an event for me. It still is at that stage in my life where it's an event where I go and I'm like, I'm at a hockey game. I'm at a Phillies game.
Well, if you go to enough of them, the event becomes the game. After a while,
it just becomes second nature. Like Phillies tickets, I could see you when you get season tickets, you miss a couple.
Yeah.
You
go to enough hockey games, it becomes the same thing too. You start going down there. It's not about the game anymore.
It's about socializing, the crowd, all that. I don't want it to, for me. I'm happy with the way it is. Once in a while, I go. I pay attention. I like the game.
Let's go back to clearing out the net. If they did bring back the fact that you can clear out the front, you could see goals come on. The goals wouldn't all be bing bangers. You could watch guys take shots on goal and beat a goalie to the left, or beat a goalie to the right, or make a play, or juke them out without worrying about a crowd of people. I'm
not saying I didn't like it. Like I like it or don't like it. I like the whole. I don't. To me, a goal's a goal. If it goes in, that's fine. If whatever, ping bang. It was a lot of slop. There was like you said before. There's a lot of guys in the history of hockey that have parked in front of that net. That garbage men clearing it.
But there's a talent of deflecting.
There's a good talent. There's definitely it's a lost art. You don't get to see a lot of that anymore because I think there should be a secondary crease. Maybe a yellow line or something. Like a lane,
like in basketball, a lane.
Exactly.
Could you imagine the lane in basketball was gone? I mean, how tough that would be in the NBA. Everybody standing in front of the net, blocking everything down.
Exactly. But if you had like a secondary line, a yellow line or something, or whatever, a green line, I don't care what you call it, where if you're in there, you're allowed to muscle somebody out. You're allowed to be able to keep your sticks down, push them out.
Right.
I think that would be
something
worth seeing.
Or you can do it and we're talking bullshit here because they're not changing anything as far. Well, though they did make the 3-on-3, like I told them back a few years ago.
So 5 years, we might get a green line.
Yeah. Well, a lane where you have a 3-second violation like basketball, like you got to get out of it. You can't stay in the lane.
I don't mind if they stay there. If you let somebody stay there, then that's on you.
Right.
If there's a shaded area where you can push somebody out, then fine.
To me, the talent in hockey, what I like to see when I watch a hockey game, I like to see a guy take a shot from the face-off circle just in front of the blue line and beat a goalie. That he shots that good. The John LeClairs of the day where they could take shots from the point.
I understand what you're saying.
But back then there were more who did that.
No, there was only 5.
There were guys out there.
There was only 5, 6 in the whole league that could blow a shot past you at 85, 90 miles an hour.
There was quite a few. We go back.
If a goalie's standing there and he sees you, he's going to make that, 8 times out of 10, he's going to make that save.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. There's only 5 or 6 guys in the league that could probably overpower you. You'll hear that announcer saying,
here's the thing.
overpowering shot.
Every guy can do it if it's the right atmosphere for him, or it's the right situation for him. Or if you got a goalie moving left or right and he beats you. But how often? You know what I don't see anymore is the one timer. Okay, players stop that puck all the time and give them goalies reactionary time. I don't see. When was the last time you saw a one timer, a legitimate puck coming across, and a guy just blowing it through? What happened to that?
You don't see it a lot anymore because you generally speaking of the crowds in front of the net, because of the crowds in front of the net, because guys park down there now because you can't push them out.
But to me, the block shot is so eminent now. I would think that the one time would beat that situation when the puck gets over to you, fire before anybody gets in front of you.
I don't know.
I do know. I don't think they're talented enough to get that shot off anymore. I don't think guys can get the right. Listen to me. The one timer. Listen, roll your eyes all you want. The one timer is you played. The one timer is not. It's not easy. You got to time that right to get a good shot off.
But there wasn't a lot of players. You're overstating. You're overusing what was great when we were younger. There weren't. You're remembering more of the greatness than there actually was.
I'm wondering if guys can do that. I wonder if guys can do it. I remember when I coached Little League hockey, one of our things was to teach the one-timer. And I used to always use the analogy. Remember the Sega one-timer? Because in the Sega hockey game, they had a button. You push the one-timer. You would blow it by that goalie. So these kids were 8, 9, 10 years old. I used to use that analogy with them to figure out what the one-timer was. Because they didn't really understand what that was. They knew the button they used to push on the TV set. But on the handle. But I said the one-timer is the way that you can beat your goalie. You don't give him any time to react. When he's moving left or right, if that puck's coming across him, by the time he sets himself, it's already on its way. You have a chance of getting it in before he gets set. That was the whole idea. And we taught the team that, and they were very good at it at that time. What I'm trying to say to you is I don't see it anymore. And it was a way to score.
I understand what you're saying. I just don't see it as a practical.
It's
not practical anymore.
What I'm telling you, if you think about what I'm telling you about the shot itself, how is it not practical? Practical.
Because I'm telling you, for the one-timers, there was a lot of set plays. So if you're on the top ice, glove side, you would set up, and the shift to want to play would be to push everybody to crease to that way.
So wait,
the one-timer to clear the path.
So what, you wait the whole shot out? Nobody uses it anymore
because you can't push the other players out. I'm giving you. You asked me why, and I'm telling you. So you can't move players in front of the net. So the one-timer is just going to hit like 80 people in front of the net.
And it does it now. Come on, that's what we're seeing now. Is
not one-timers.
Ping pong.
You're seeing guys shoot wide because they're trying to finesse it too much.
Okay, you're proving my point. You're telling finesse it too much. One-timers. It's what? Come on, it's not going in the net. You see teams taking 40 shots, and they really took 70. 30 of them hit something else in the stadium or the net up top or whatever. Come on, man. I know you're trying to beef with me, but seriously, look at the game. Watch the game. Watch how inept these players are. They're the best in the world at this shit. The best in the world playing the NHL. They shouldn't be shooting wide all night, especially when no one's on them. When nobody's on them, how could you shoot wide on the goal?
I don't know.
You wouldn't shoot wide on the goal if no one was on you. You stand at the point with a puck or a hockey ball in the street, and you got 30 feet, 20 feet, 10 feet. You're going to get it on goal because no one's stopping you. But these hockey players, they got a problem doing that. And when they do it, they shoot it right into the goalie's gut. How much of that have you seen lately?
I see that everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
That's fine.
See that everywhere.
That puck should be 4 inches off that ice. The easiest way to score is down low. Deflections, openings. So you should never see a puck go in the gut.
No, never.
Right.
I agree with you there.
Okay, good.
But to say that talent, but I think the least talented players are in the National Football League, generally speaking, everywhere.
Least talented where?
All throughout the whole sport.
The best in the world are in the National Football League.
And they're the least talented all the way through. Just like out of
but there's so many more talented players in the league itself at their positions. There's so many more players. We can say name all the good players, name all the good quarterbacks, running back, wide receivers, defensive players, scorers, guys who get touchdowns. In the NHL, we have trouble naming them.
Right. Whatever.
Hey, whatever. It is what it is.
Whatever. It's whatever.
All right, let's lighten it up a little bit here. I was treated to a treat this week. My girl came back. My Sarah Palin. biggest numbnuts ever in politics. You know, I just want to talk a little Trump here because I don't know if I can mix Trump with sports with Trump, but it is like a sport because this whole presidential election is becoming like a sport here. They're introducing everybody like it's the a post game show or a halftime show. I think there's a debate tonight. One of the truths, I think they're debating tonight.
The
or
Democrats
something.
are.
Yeah. At 5'1", 120 pounds, blonde hair.
Who's the third person in the Democratic one?
Is there a third person?
There you go.
Who is it? Bloomberg, right? Isn't he starting to run now from New York? Isn't he the next guy in?
I thought he was a Republican.
I don't know what he is. I don't know. All of a sudden, people are going to start now. People are seeing maybe they think there's an opportunity to get in here since it's starting to break down. You'd think it would, after Sarah Palin going up to bloviate. I mean, she must have been drunk. What the fuck was that, man? I said it with my mouth open, like, this is what the presidential races come down to. I thought Trump was bad when I listened to her. All I could think, first I saw, it's funny. You see her up there, and all I could think about was Tina Fey coming on Saturday Night Live. I can't wait to see Saturday night on Saturday to see the opening, to see what she does.
Oh, she was on it too.
Yeah. And it's like, that's what went through my head. Not Trump, not what he does. The dingbat of the year. I mean, she's what I call it, the Edith of politics. The Edith Bunker of politics.
She's a dingbat.
Yeah. But, and you think I know what Trump's doing. He could care less about her one way or another. All he knows is she's about a big handful of votes for the wackadoos who follow her around.
For the Tea Party.
Yeah, Tea Party people, they'll just be wackadoo when they get in the booth, Listen to our girl Sarah. Oh, she's what she is. She's one of political. What do you call her? She's a candidate killer. That's what I call her. Poor John McCain.
Here's the thing. I was just about to bring that up.
John McCain would have been president.
He probably would have won if he hadn't picked her.
Yeah, right.
But I look at it.
So Trump's doubling down.
I don't know what the hell Trump is doing. Just when you think he shoots himself in the foot again, he goes up 11 points. Yeah. He's the only one that could probably put Sarah Palin in front of a camera and get 11% jump over Ted Cruz.
He did it.
And he did it. And okay, so he's a smacked ass, but she's a smacked ass, but he's a smacked ass that knows what he's doing. He's obviously doing something right.
He doesn't care if he wins or loses.
He doesn't have to worry about it. Most people do.
Yeah, he doesn't care. So he can do and say whatever he wants, because if they come back and say, oh, we're losing, well, I'm going to go home. I'll see you. Have a nice day.
I'm going to go home. I'm still going to have $1 billion.
I'm taking my toys. I'm going home. That's what he's going to say.
Still going to have $1 billion. What the hell are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then I'll buy NBC and sue myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
that's exactly right. The joke of the whole thing. I just sit back and watch the show because all it is a show. And to think, can you imagine? I mean, I'm trying to think. It was Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. In presidential, it's not even two politicians. It's two sales representatives. I mean, Bernie's obviously a senator or whatever the frick he does.
I don't even know what he does. He scares me. He's just like he's like that uncle that just doesn't go away.
He's scary. Trump don't scare you, but he scares you.
He scares me more than Trump.
Oh yeah,
you know why?
About that.
I look at it like this.
Is there a way
to I do, because and it might be a morbid way of looking at it, but this is how I look at it. If somebody said to me, my team's great, we're $1 billion company, blah, 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 and you're hiring somebody and you go, you know what? Who are you going to look at? You're going to look at the guy that's going to give away the money or do whatever, or you're going to get the successful businessman who made several $1 million, $1 billion companies. I'm going with that guy, because if that guy says now that everybody here is on my team and we're doing it like this, we're going to make money, we're going to do it. I want the best guy that's going to, this isn't about politics anymore. This is about money. This is about making money for everybody in this country. And you got to sit there and go, you know what? I'm sick and tired of my money going to nothing. I want it to count for something. I want back. I want the guy that's going to make the team great. If he made his own team great, and now he's part of, if he's going to be president, if he makes it to president, I haven't even decided if I'm voting for anybody yet. But if that's the case, I'm leaning that way, because if he was able to take 27 companies and make them into $1 billion companies, he failed a couple of them. But what has anybody else done?
You're forgetting something here.
I'm forgetting probably.
There's more to just building companies when you were the president of the United States.
I don't care.
There's situations that go across the world that you're responsible for. There's people you have to please in different ways in making deals. Okay.
And you don't think he can make deals?
I'm not sure if he can gather the respect to make the deals. That's the thing. When you come out of the United States, when he goes out of the United States, goes overseas.
So you're worried about your reputation as a country?
No, let me finish.
Okay.
He goes out of the United States. He can walk into anywhere else. They could care less how much money he has or what he does or how he is or what he was. All they know is it's the world you're dealing with. Okay. You're not making deals for cash. Sometimes it's political. Sometimes it's religious. It's faith drawn. There's other situations in the world other than making deals or making you financially right. That's not all the president does.
Okay.
So what in Donald Trump, other than making money, has he done to make you think he could be a leader?
What has any of them other ones?
I'm not saying anybody's better. I'm just saying that Donald Trump.
If you're going to go down and make a
Trump
list,
is he's a character. He's a freaking character. That's what he is. He's a character.
So is Bill Clinton.
Bill
Clinton didn't have anything in his resume to predict that. And if you're a Bill Clinton guy, you went, oh, okay, I think I like him. All right. He didn't have anything near in his resume with diplomacy and what you just brought up with dealing with other countries. Yet he was president for 8 years. Okay. Barack Obama, probably the least experience in Congress or in dealing with anything in the all of the presidents. So
that's that. But what's the point? One thing they all did, they're all a part of the not political when it comes to political bullshit. But they're all part of understanding the way the country runs as far as. And you got to be political. You can't just be money. You got to be more. You got to be political and money together. Donald Trump has come in here as a buffoon, ripped everybody, pissed everybody. We can shake your head all you want.
I'm agreeing with you.
Is what he has done. He's taken the presidency, which used to be a prominent spot, going back in.
Oh, stop right there. Your guy was one of our presidents was what in the office, dipping cigars in the unknown places. So don't go about talking about the sanctity of the office.
No, I didn't say sanctity. I said when you're the president of the United States, you are what the world calls the most powerful man in the world. Okay.
Okay.
You got to be able to provide that, and you can't go around providing that power by ripping people left and right and making enemies of each other. Okay, you just can't do it. You don't start off that way. You can't do it.
Every presidential campaign in the last 20 years has started off that way.
What, saying that I got to get the fuck Mexicans out of here, and I don't like this person, and I don't like that person, and the Muslims got to be put away here. And that's how we start this stuff up, and you're great, I'm great, he's great, we're all great. It's almost a stupidity, man, to the point to where it's fun now until he gets elected. Then when he has to sit down in that freaking chair, then you're all going to be scared because you don't know what's going to happen. And the
because
surprise.
You don't know what was going to happen with any of them.
Well, you
did.
Yes,
no, you didn't. Because no. Stop. For
Come
1 second, you didn't know because Obama said he was going to cut all our middle class taxes. That didn't happen.
Okay,
it didn't.
How's your life with Obama right now? Just say how's things going.
It's not great.
It's not great. What's wrong? What's the difference between Obama and Bush right now in your life?
$15,000 a year salary.
And whose fault is that?
I don't know whose fault it is.
Is it the people you work for?
No, it's the whole economy.
Okay, they decide they don't want to pay you $15,000 less.
Generally speaking, the terms of everybody's in this business everywhere. You felt it too. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I haven't felt. The Obama years were my best of my ever. The Obama years were the best ever for me.
Yeah, because it was a disaster everywhere.
Okay, but regardless, the fact of the matter is, you weren't so good. I was good. So the difference is,
and that's why I'm acting towards the way I want.
And I'm a Republican. So and it was better for me with Obama than it was Bush. Tons better, financially wise. And that's it for politics because the stupidity of politics is what it is. Donald Trump becomes president because I just want to sit back and enjoy the show because that's what it's going to be. One big show.
We'll have material every week.
He'll be going like this. As he hires the next quackadoo to be the Secretary of State, the vice president. I can't imagine who his vice president is going to be.
That's not his track record, though.
Yeah, well, think about it.
It's not because he hires people that are smart and good for, he hires people that are good at what they do if he doesn't know about it.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have a lot of people. I understand what you're saying, but you have in politics, as the president, you have a lot.
You're worried he won't be able to play nice with other people in the sandbox.
Absolutely won't be able to. He won't give a shit what the other people say, and that causes wars. that causes outrage and big problems. Okay,
So,
he doesn't play nice because he the point is he's not political. Okay, and then sometimes you have to be political in order to make the deal, and he'll be my way or the highway.
I'm just trying to figure out how many times George Bush didn't play the ice in the sandbox, and we got bombed, and because it always works that way. It always works. When playing nice in the sandbox.
Didn't win the
tell
presidency.
that to Europe right now.
George Bush
play
didn't
nice
play.
in the sandbox
George Bush
where
didn't
it's
win
got
the
him.
presidency. He didn't win it. Okay, he stole it. Okay, he stole it down in Florida. You know it. Everybody knows it. But it is what it is. They couldn't prove otherwise. All right, and I voted for the nut. But and I understand it. He stole the election. That's simple. But that's life. That's the way it goes. That's the mob mentality of the government that we have. They blame the mafia for being a mafia. Meanwhile, the government is the legal mafia.
Are you happy with the government right now? Because the people that are in government they suck, right?
Well,
generally speaking, they suck.
I don't know. For you, maybe. For right now, things aren't that bad for me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the problem is out there. I'm a nice guy. I treat everybody pretty good. No one's bothering me.
Okay.
I earn because I earn, and that's what it did. I got this show here. No one's bothering me. I'm saying shit, piss, fuck, whatever I want. No one's bothering me.
Yeah, now you just...
Oh, shit. Political. What were we talking about before we got into that stuff? All you wanted to do is make a little fun of Sarah Palin, and you bringing all this chaos here about Donald Trump.
I didn't start it. You started with Donald Trump. I just rebuttal.
All right. 10:15 on the dial. I think I had enough. All right, next week we're going to be at Steam Pub,
606 2nd Street Pike,
8:00, and come join us. Have a nice meal, have some drinks. Be there for about an hour and a half on the air. If you want, you can come up and say some, ask some questions or chime in with us. We'll have a microphone set up for you. But come hang out with us. We'll do the show from there. A couple hours live. www.sgshow.net. We're giving away T-shirts, Sports Goombahs T-shirts like this one right here. You know, we got a Eagles jersey. I guess we got Matthews jersey. He's the only one we know will probably be back next year for sure. Although now Ertz has signed a 5-year contract, so he'll be there. Who's going to be tossing to him, we don't know. But, you know, with this team, I don't know where he's going to get managed for the next couple of years because they're what we call dead meat.
Yep. Well, you better start liking that hockey because they're the best thing to look forward to in the next couple of years.
Seems to be.
Everybody else is not good.
Yeah, for the most part. But that's the deal. All right, I'm Cashy the King. I got my chef left, Brendan B. Mikey will all be back next week for the show. Come join us. Remember, Steam Pub.
Get there early.
8 p.m. we go on the air. Get there at 6 o'clock. Get a table. 6:30. Maybe you get a table. 6:45. Forget about it. Cashy the King, chef left, Brendan B. This is the Sports Goombahs. Have a good one.